Welcome back. Construction of the future Port of Long Beach is well underway, as we've seen. And before we go, I'd just like to say thank you very much to Gary Cardamone for showing us around today. We really appreciate the information.
My pleasure, Sean.
Now, before we go, I want to know what exactly is going to be going on here and how long is it going to take to finish this maintenance yard?
Well, this is a complex of 3 buildings, Sean. We're building a new maintenance building, a covered storage area, as well as a vehicle repair facility, landscaping. It'll be a complete facility here for our maintenance folks. We hope to have it done by the 3rd quarter of next year. In fact, we better have it done because we're going to be in the way of the Gerald Desmond Bridge project, as I mentioned earlier.
And that is definitely a deadline you want to be out in front of. Gary, thanks again. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, Sean.
All right, now time for our final story. We'll see what free trade agreements are all about and how they help the port grow. The United States imports more than $2.2 trillion worth of goods and services from all over the world every year. But did you know we also export another $1.5 trillion and that number continues to grow?
The goods that we export are anything from raw materials or semi-finished goods like lumber, recyclable materials. We also export, of course, a lot of agriculture products, feeds, grains, corn, but we also export services.
How to grow the number of exports from U.S.-based companies is a hot topic right now, and one discussed at length during this year's America's Business Forum hosted by the Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce. The Port of Long Beach's own Sean Strawbridge was one of the speakers.
41% of U.S. export goods will go to FTA partner countries in 2012.
FTA stands for Free Trade Agreements, and the U.S. currently has them in place with 20 different countries. But what are they and what do they do?
Free trade agreement is an agreement typically between 2 or more countries where goods and services can be exchanged between those countries with very low or no tariffs or quotas.
NAFTA, or the North American Free Trade Agreement, is one example. The 1994 agreement between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico links 450 million people, producing $17 trillion worth of goods and services.
Trade between those 3 countries has tripled. From our standpoint, we see that more U.S. goods and services are exported to Canada and to Mexico. And the benefits that they have is, of course, they have easier access to one of the largest consumer markets in the world, that being the United States.
And that pattern of growth also holds true with all the other countries where the U.S. has negotiated and implemented free trade agreements. Once in place, trade seems to boom. The other big winner, of course, is our economy.
Free trade agreements create jobs. Free trade agreements create a vibrant economy. The United States is only 5% of the global consumer economy. By exporting, you have 95% of the world's markets available to you.
Which is why the Port of Long Beach participates in and sponsors educational outreach seminars that bring companies together with federal agencies and other exporters to spread the word.
It's all about education, and if we can facilitate that education, then it's beneficial for our customers and ultimately for the Port of Long Beach.
The Port of Long Beach is definitely on the move, so if you want to keep up and get all the latest news and information, make sure to check out POLB.com. I'm Sean Horish. Thanks for watching Pulse of the Port.